Hey guys. So, with everybody kind of excited at the fact that Triple H is officially running things now fully without having to rely on any scripts or plans that were already planned out, if you will, or written out and pretty much in the can from Vince's era, from Vince's previous time there. One question a lot of people probably are asking themselves, but haven't asked publicly, is should Tony Khan be a little concerned? Because even though people are not coming out and saying it, it seems just by the tone in their voices, when it comes to, this excitement now in pro wrestling, sports entertainment, that it almost sounds like they feel and believe Tony should be a little concerned. Like they notice the numbers are not like what they used to be in the viewership and the demographics and even the ratings, and that sometimes attendance isn't what it used to be for AEW. And when you combine that with what's going on the other side of the pond with WWE, that is a question people probably are asking themselves but haven't asked publicly until now. And that is, should Tony Khan be worried about this, sudden, slow, but, pretty much, up and coming resurgence of WWE to prominence? Should he be worried? Should he be concerned? I mean, here's one thing that got people talking about Tony Khan and why I think this question is probably going around in their minds, but like I said, they've yet to really ask it publicly. And that's the fact that on a recent radio interview, or a podcast interview, Tony Khan laughed off, I should say, the fact that any former WWE star that he's signed would even consider going back. I mean, he even went as far as to basically say, oh, Adam Cole and Malachi Black, I got them locked in up until 2027. There ain't no way they're leaving. Ha, 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 that's such a joke. Ha, ha, ha. And, someone like Solomonster, he talked about this, and he pretty much said that, in his opinion, he doesn't believe Malachi or Adam really appreciated their contractual status being known to the public, in that manner. Like, they knew people, the fans, insiders and all that pretty much knew that they were locked up for some time, but they probably didn't want to, want it to be known of how long. And when you got people talking about Tony Khan bringing that up and everything, and especially, like I said, in the, oh shoot, just spilled some Gatorade on me. Oh well, I'll dry up. Actually feels pretty good. But anyway, like I said, okay, what was I? Hold on. All right, almost lost my train of thought there. But when you have people talking about Tony Khan in a manner that, like I said, feels like they know he should be concerned, especially when they bring up, him laughing off the possibility that former WWE talent would go back now that Triple H is running things. Even going as far as to say how long legitimately they're under contract. People probably are worried that Tony Khan isn't taking this seriously. But, because they don't want to sound concerned, they don't want to sound like, oh, AEW is in trouble, because right now it's not. We'll be honest with that, it's not. It probably doesn't, rub them the right way that he would say something like that he would laugh it off and everything. Especially now that, he's got to realize in their minds, in a lot of people's minds, before he knows it, he's going to be pretty much in a war that, he really doesn't have much experience in, because, yeah, his brand, his company may have won the Wednesday Night Wars. There is no doubt about that. They may have won the Wednesday Night Wars and everything. But, against NXT, which caused NXT to move to Tuesdays. But people will point out that even though, he's won that war, he has no experience, what I'm trying to say, in the war or the competitive nature the competitive nature of the world of competition that he's about to be involved in. And that if he doesn't start taking this seriously and not, kind of come off as somebody that, is so confident that he's willingly speaking about how long his, wrestlers, his stars are locked up for, it's gonna be concerning. It's going to be concerning to a lot of folks. Now, like I said, fans don't have much to worry about right now. AEW supporters don't have much to worry about right now. We know that. They don't have much to worry about. But, again, when you hear someone like a Solomonster, when you hear someone like just Alyx, a JD and all that, who speak very highly of AEW, and even give it praise for some great shows that it puts on, like they recently did with Fight for the Fallen, week 1. When you hear them talk about that, but then also talk about, things that need to be addressed, things that Tony Khan needs to fix and address, if you will, in the future, and talking about it in a way to where it sounds like they're trying to tell Tony, hey, you need to start getting your, excuse me for saying this, Lord, your shit together, or else you're going to regret it. Or else, if you don't get your shit together, history may repeat itself, and that's something we don't want to see happen. Another thing, too, that obviously shows that they are concerned that Tony is not taking this seriously and doesn't realize what he's really about to get himself into, is the fact that, he's basically wants to be a one-man show. He wants to be a one-man show to where he has a certain group of people, helping him out. There's no doubt about that. He does have a certain group amount of people helping him, but he's mostly like, hey, I'm going to take care of everything myself. People, they bring up like the ratings, like I mentioned earlier, not being what they used to be, the demographic not being what it used to be, and all that. They bring this up because within a year or so, AEW and WWE are going to be in negotiations for, re-upping their television deals with the current providers. And if AEW doesn't turn it around very soon, despite the numbers they got being good, the Turner Networks, Warner Brothers Discovery may say, yeah, we don't want to renew the contract with you guys. You got to find another place. Nobody wants that. I don't want it. And that's why a lot of folks feel that Tony Khan needs to start taking this seriously. He needs to realize he is in a war, or he's about to be in a war, unlike the one he had with NXT. Because if what we saw at SummerSlam is any example, even if it was mostly a Vince McMahon booked SummerSlam with a few Triple H influences thrown in there to kind of spice things up. And then what we saw last night, the first official WWE broadcast under the Triple H regime, if that's any example of what's going to be brought to the table, then yeah, Tony Khan needs to start taking this seriously. He needs to start taking, he needs to get his act together basically and surround himself with people that know what they're doing. Because if not, Triple H is going to come in and win this war a lot easier than he lost the war of NXT versus AEW. That's what it's going to be. And again, that's why some people feel Tony Khan has no idea what he's getting himself into, and that he needs to start taking this seriously. He needs to get a team together. He needs to get people to work off of, help him get some ideas off the ground and everything. He needs to do all that. And he needs to, and I say this with all love and respect for the man, he needs to grow up. He needs to grow up and realize, hey, playtime's over. Vince, on the WWE side of things, he ain't running the ship anymore. His daughter is. A guy with the same name as you, as the same last name as yours is. And mostly, a guy that's competed for over 20 years, over 30 years, 3 decades or more in the ring, that pretty much set the standard of what an alternative wrestling brand or promotion should be like. Triple H, he is now running the whole shebang as head of creative and EV of talent relations. Tony Khan needs to wake up and realize this is a new game we're playing. This is a new set of rules that have been set out. This is just a preliminary start to a war that I and others that have yet to really make this public or say it publicly, but kind of let it be known by what they say in other ways, in other topical AEW ways. We are basically in the preliminary stage, the prelude stage, if you will, of what's going to be a major war, a major competitive fight, unlike what Tony Khan, as I mentioned earlier, has experienced. And this is why some people feel he needs to get it together. And they're saying it in their own way by noticing a lot of the things that need to be addressed. The ratings, the demographics and all that dropping down instead of going up needs to be addressed. Certain things that should have already been taken care of, certain, issues that should have been taken care of, I should say, need to be addressed. And mostly, Tony Khan needs to get himself a team on both sides of the spectrum, both for his Ring of Honor promotion and AEW. He needs to do that, or else, he's gonna basically, he's basically gonna look like an idiot. He's gonna look like a fool. Because you can't tell me Triple H isn't salivating at the opportunity that's in front of him, knowing that, yeah, it's going to take time, but when that time is right, when that time is perfect, like a snake, like a cobra, if you will, a king cobra, by the way, he's going to strike. And he's going to strike in a way that Tony Khan will not see coming or be prepared for, which is why Tony needs to start taking this seriously. So, yeah, people in their own subtle way, like I said, they may not say it publicly, like a Solomonster won't say it publicly, neither will Alyx, or just Alyx, or JD, or anybody else, but in their own unique way, from what they say and address and point out, they're basically telling Tony Khan, yeah, TK, it's time to get things together, it's time to get the act together, it's time to stop playing around and get serious, because you're about to be in a war that you've never been in before. But yeah, that's honestly what I think's going to need to happen. He needs to grow up. He needs to basically grow up. And I say it with all love and respect, grow up from being just a wrestling fan to being a business person, and realizing that if you're going to compete against somebody that is more experienced, not just, what's the one I'm trying to say, excuse me? Not only is he going up against someone that is experienced legitimately from competing in the ring for over 30 years, but he's going up against a guy that pretty much set the standard, as I mentioned earlier, of how to give people what they want. And now he's at the helm of the biggest wrestling corporation promotion in the world, and Tony Khan needs to realize that if he wants to retain any kind of relevancy, he wants to make sure he stays on the Turner networks and all that, it's time to grow up, get your act together, get a team on both sides of the spectrum together, because if not, he is going to end up like Eric Bischoff in WCW. He's going to lose this war. Even if it's not a nightly war, he's going to lose a weekly war, and that's one he cannot afford to lose. And again, I believe a lot of people are telling him this in their own way, from Solomonster to Just Alyx to JD to anybody that speaks highly of AEW. They're telling him in his own way. But let me know what you guys' thoughts are. Do you think Tony Khan needs to start taking this seriously, realizing what he's about to be in store for? Or do you think he should just keep going the way he wants and not take it seriously? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments. As well as in the live chat during the premiere. Like the video. Super chat, super stickers are open, guys. And until then, I will talk to y'all later.